Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful.
Is everything recording?
I believe
What are you doing?
so.
Welcome to The Spotlight, shining a light on the individuals who power the creative industries. Today, I'm joined by Riley, Mads, Mia, and Rain from Midwest emo and math rock band Mellowing. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thanks.
I love it.
How did Mellowing come together, and was there a defining moment that made you decide to form a band?
Yeah. A couple of us go to uni together, and for one of our projects we had to make a song, and we made a song together and performed it, and it was really well received, and a lot of people asked us if we were in a band and why we weren't. So we decided to make a band, and it was pretty much that song that started everything for us.
Was there a specific person in the group who started it, or like someone whose idea it was to...
I think it was more so us just jamming for one of our classes, and we ended up just really liking the music we were making. So I think it was really me, Mia, and Riley from the start. And then later we found the missing piece, Mads. So
And it was mostly Rain and Mia because I play drums, so I can't really make the harmonic content happen
Yes.
like they can.
Where does the name Mellowing come from, and does it reflect your sound or your philosophy as a band?
I would say the name came from a lot of weeks of experimentation. And I think the final straw was me saying, "Oh, I really like the band name Yellowing," and then Mellowing came from that.
Also, you make the name of the band, like the sound that you have, regardless of what word it is, you determine what the word means by the music that you make, is what I think. Yeah.
It's a pretty unusual name. That's not very common, which is what you want. But Yellowing, is that a word that means something?
I think I was just thinking about teeth.
yeah.
Yellow teeth?
Yeah, it's like decay. It's like fillings.
I think there's almost something to also a name not necessarily meaning all that much at the start. Like Mia was saying, it becomes what you want it to become, which leaves us open to changing, our genre, our vibe, whatever we want, how we appear to our audience, and the name will still come along with us.
Yeah.
And it kind of fits your music too, which is pretty mellow at times.
Yeah, we'd say so.
Without further ado, we should actually listen to some of your music. This next song is called Untitled Fight. And before we play it, do you want to walk us through the story behind it?
I think it was originally a riff that I wrote for a different band, but it didn't end up fitting the vibe, and I thought it was very much Mellowing, so I brought it in, and it's very much in our writing process for me to bring in a riff, and then for us to write different parts together, and for us to arrange it as a group. So I kind of brought it in, and Mia wrote some lyrics to it, and we made Untitled Fight.
How long did you write it? Like, how long did it take to finish?
Ooh, we're usually pretty quick with our writing processes. I think this one, after I'd brought it in, was maybe a week or so of working on it before we were pretty happy with it, I think.
Was that like just writing or writing and producing it?
Just writing it. For all of the songs that are on the album, we have been performing them for quite a while. Recording them was a thing that happened after we got comfortable and settled into the sound of the songs and realised how we wanted them to sound. Then we realised that we wanted to record them. Untitled Fight was the first song that we recorded.
Oh, wow.
It was our first single off this works, and also it's a bit of a call out to Title Fight, who I think is a pretty big influence on us as a band. It's another band, American band, but yeah, I thought the riff was kind of Title Fight-ish.
Yeah, for sure.
Made a little pun because it was untitled.
Let's give it a listen. You're
Awesome.
listening to The Spotlight, and this is Untitled Fight by Mellowing. welcome back to the Spotlight. You just heard Untitled Fight by Mellowing. And speaking of mellowing, I'm joined by them in the studio. We were just talking about albums. Do you still believe in albums in the age of singles? And are there any plans for future albums?
That's a big yes. I think albums are always the goal, at least for us. And I feel like that resonates with a lot of musicians as a creative project. You know, it's wonderful to create a song that you're proud of, and to put that out and to have people resonate with it. But to create an album is to create a story, and you know, you've just got a lot that tells you about yourself from beginning to end and your own journey, and you just hope that resonates with your audience as well. So I definitely think that's on the cards. It better be on the cards in the future. Yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Have you ever had an audience member come up to you and say that they resonated with you?
Yeah. One comment that we tend to get a lot is how emotional our live sets are, and that a lot of people can feel the emotion themselves just from watching us play, which is a very special thing, I think. I think it's really, really cool that we get to be that for people, and we're able to draw their emotions out through music. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's really all you can ask for as an artist.
Yeah.
Walk us through your songwriting process. Does it start with lyrics, melody, or just a vibe?
I think it usually starts with, like at the beginning, it was most definitely me bringing in riffs and then creating sections together and then arranging them and then adding lyrics. But I think more recently we've been trying to like sit together and write, especially over the last month or so.
I think Riley has always been very strong at the arrangement side of things. We will tend to create lots of different parts that are very disjointed, and we're not super sure how to put them all together. And Riley has a good way of being able to piece them all together in a way that sounds natural.
Yeah, I think also, Rain's probably on the melodies and Mia's on the chords, and Mad stitches those together, and then I just try and make it all be a 3 to 5 minute song, usually more than 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I love a full stop and then start again to try and throw us through these very different sections.
And I think lyrics have always come last.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's hard to put lyrics over this stuff, especially how difficult it is to play sometimes. And
sure.
A couple of our new songs that we don't actually have on this work of like the album, I've had to go away and figure out how to actually play it and sing it at the same time. So
Me too.
Lyrics are last always.
Yeah, and I think although lyrics are last, I think we have really developed, especially over the last year, a knack for, because we also have a lot of instrumental songs in our album. We definitely treat this as like a dialogue, a conversation with our instruments, and I think that's why it's so important for us to write together. There's a lot of interchanging melodies, especially like I also play a lot of melodies on the bass, which I think lends to the emo genre a lot. It feels like there's a lot of talking happening, and I think that works well for us because we know each other so well as friends and as musicians, and your personality really shines through in the music that you play. And because we know each other so deeply on both levels, we really try to strive for our songs sounding like a dialogue. Yeah.
Do your personal experiences shape the songs, or do you write about fictional stories as well?
I think it's an accumulation of both. I think that my approach to songwriting is kind of behind a wall to a certain extent. I don't want to explicitly just tell a story of what I have dealt with or what I've been going through or how I'm feeling. I like to poeticize, if that's even a word, I don't think it is, put it in a way that fits a narrative, and generally the way that the song is sounding instrumentally helps me to do that. I know that you have a slightly different way of lyrical writing.
Yeah, I mostly go off prompts, or if I have been like watching something or I don't know, experiencing something, I kind of like put that into lyrics. I'm very new to lyrics, so I've only really written lyrics for 2 of the tracks. But I kind of pick topics that I kind of like resonate with. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the whole writing behind a wall is a good thing, because I think even though we might have been thinking of very specific things, I think the language we use in the lyrics are usually quite vague to help people listening to it be able to apply it to themselves. But yeah, probably a really good example of that would be the lyrics in Untitled Fight. I think they're just super, well, the last song, just super like kind of, I did with it, I'll do without, you know?
Yeah, I think it's really important to not just tell the listener what to feel and not tell the listener what the song is about. I think it's really important to let them figure out what the song means to them. I think that's how I like to approach writing lyrics. It's just very vague, and people can interpret it however they would like.
Which artists or bands have influenced your music the most?
I think we've all got a bit of a different idea of what this like kind of emo math rock convergence point is, but I guess for me, I really liked listening to there's a band called Algernon Cadwallader from America who are really cool, and yeah, I guess growing up in Hobart for myself, there was a few bands like Teens or Rivulet who were really cool that inspired this sort of music. But yeah, it's hard to pin down because I think we all listen to a lot of music and we try and make a very specific genre of music in this band. But we're also, just for this record hopefully, and maybe we can branch out from the labelling in the future.
Yeah, I think Sweet Pill as well, they're an American band. I hadn't really seen many emo bands that were female fronted, and I think that was a big thing for me in feeling empowered to make this kind of music and to be on stage in a place like Melbourne where a lot of successful bands aren't female fronted, and I think it is really important that we get to do that. And I think Sweet Pill, and seeing them live, I saw them live last year, watching how the lead singer was on stage was very, very inspirational to me.
Going off female-led groups, I feel like my playing is inspired a lot specifically by Yvette Young from Covet. Especially at the start of mellowing, I think I was still relatively new to the genre at that point, and I think listening and learning a lot about their playing style was pretty, pivotal to me learning how to play in the genre, and I think that reflects in a lot of our earlier songs, for me personally.
Yeah, like Slowly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Would you say your sound is a mix of all of your influences combined?
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's also like something really special about this project because and even the fact that we do a mix of math rock and Midwest emo, we don't limit ourselves to just that combination. And I think that allows us to be more fulfilled creatively and create more interesting things as well. A lot of us have kind of jazzy backgrounds. The 3 of us were actually in a previous project together as well, which was more kind of funk, soul, pop.
R&B.
Yeah, R&B. I personally have a lot of influence from Motown, and I think it actually does translate quite well into emo again, with kind of assisting the melody line but still holding it down. Yeah, I think it really just allows us to be free with our creative process.
I think it's time to have a listen to the results of that creative process, which is your music. This next one is one of my favorites, called Wedding Roof, which is also a part of your album that was recently released.
Awesome.
You're listening to The Spotlight on Syn, and this is Wedding Roof. Congratulations on releasing your album, Some Things Can't Be Unsaid, on January 12th.
Thanks.
Thank you.
How long was that in the works for?
Too long. I started trying to get us to record around February last year. And then at the start of the project, it was going to be 2 songs. It was just going to be Untitled Fight and Fear Imposing, and we ended up releasing them as singles, and then the plans changed over and over and over and over again, and it eventually turned out to be 7 songs with a couple misrecorded ones that we gonna mention.
What do you mean misrecorded?
Oh, just like no one's ever gonna hear them.
Oh. I mean, you could release them later.
Yeah,
They were on the set, but we had recorded them, and then very soon after realised that we didn't want them on the set. That meaning also we didn't want them on the album. So lots of plan changes, as Riley said.
Yeah.
How long do you guys usually play a set for?
Recently, it's been about 40 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking to expand that. It'd be nice to not play some songs every now and then.
Yes.
But yeah, usually we hit a sweet spot of about 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And is that excluding some songs that you guys generally play?
There's a lot of dead media everywhere, you know, and yeah, I just we've got a couple ones that we just decided that I think it was more of a audience reception thing. I think we created them thinking, you know, they were going to be great, everyone would love them, and then it would just kind of be a lull in energy, and we want people to be able to want to dance and want to sing along.
We also have a habit of completely reshaping our songs very regularly.
Yes.
We'll go, here's a fun new idea that changes half of the song, and then we have to re-record it. So a lot of the songs that are kind of tabled for us, we've got a pin in them, and we'll probably come back and they'll be completely unrecognisable in a year's time.
There's some good ideas in there.
For sure.
We can see what we can do to rework them.
Also, our producer, you know, he's my housemate. I don't know how much more he can take.
Do you guys just record from home?
This album was recorded in about 4 or 5 different spaces over that year. So, yeah, just props to Declan Hanlon for how much magic he worked to make all these songs sound good together. But a few of them were recorded at my old house, and I think 3 of them were recorded at Rain's house, and then one was recorded at uni at AIM, and then the last song was recorded in Prac Space we hire out, and that's Oceans. That song we actually recorded all together at the same time, which is the only one on the album that we did that for. But yeah, lots of different types of recording and stuff.
And also a lot of our vocals were recorded in very different places. I think Riley's vocals were recorded at his house, and I think yours were at Riley's house as well.
Yeah.
Mine were at my house and at Riley's house, and I think I recorded I'm not sure. I think I recorded some of my vocals at uni, but just all over the place.
Was there a track on the album that challenged you more than others?
Oh.
I would say Metathesio and Bubbity were really hard to do at the time because of what Mads was saying before. We kept changing the songs to be happy with them. And then, when we were recording those 2 songs, we were doing drums first so that there was a bass for everyone else to work from. Not like a bass, but a
Foundation.
platform, whatever. And then, still not knowing how some of those sections went. A good tidbit is that the ending of Bubbity that goes really slow was only came about through the recording process. I just kind of had this idea of what if we did it but slower and reverbed. But no, we did it slower, and we do that live now in a little bit of a different way to how you hear it on the album. But that sort of dropping down and doing the same idea but a bit more angry and slow was there's a couple of things that the recording process did for us that was good.
A lot of last minute changes, but a lot of last minute changes that are absolutely worth it.
It's kind of like last minute plans that turn out to be the best experience.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to go with the flow.
Well, speaking of Bubbity, let's have a listen.
Sure.
Great.
You're listening to the Spotlight on Syn, and this is Bubbity. I hate this part.
Keep that in.
Welcome back to the Spotlight. You just heard Bubbity by Mellowing. And speaking of mellowing, I'm joined by them in the studio. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How has studying at AIM shaped your musical journey?
By meeting each other, I think. I moved here from Hobart, and Mia moved here from the Northern Rivers of New South Wales, and Rain commutes here from
I'm like 30 minutes from Melbourne, so I've always been here.
And Mads came here from Cairns, and we all met because we went to that uni and friends of friends and stuff like that. And I think that we all kind of knew that we wanted to do the music kind of like this, and that wasn't really influenced by AIM as much, but definitely the actual connection that a university helps you make with your mates. Yeah.
I think also being able to communicate or articulate what we are wanting to do with the music, and having the language and the technical know-how to articulate what we are wanting to do in regards to changing time signatures or different modes that we're using in certain parts. I certainly wouldn't have been able to communicate it as clearly as I can now if I hadn't have put the time into learning it over the course of I think also just integrating learning at the same time as being in a band really helped to propel us forward.
It's getting the information and turning it into inspiration.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's something you wish you knew before releasing your first single?
Oh,
It's a big question.
I would probably say that we would get better, and it's really hard to have something out there that you do, it goes back to what we were saying about reiterating and changing parts, because you figure out maybe better ways or different ways of doing things. But yeah, we can all probably play that song a lot better than how I can play my drum parts a lot better than how I played them on the album and on the single. So yeah, I guess just like I wish I knew that humans are constantly getting better at things. Like when you learn.
Yeah.
I wish I actually thought about that.
You're allowed to change. I feel like there's such a feeling when you put something out that it's, you know, you've got that digital footprint, it's stuck there forever, you have to play it like that forever. No, get out of that mindset, because it only holds you back. It's nice to know that you can improve, and also like not necessarily improve, but just change as a person, and that will influence how you play. And it's also just nice to see that progression.
Yeah, I also think we probably should have made a bit more of a plan before we started recording, because recording in different locations for various parts of various different songs obviously is not going to be consistent sound. So I think Declan did a very good job of hiding the fact that we did that, but it probably would have been a bit better if we had recorded all of the same instrument in the same place with the same conditions, so it didn't have that inconsistency throughout the recordings.
What does the Melbourne music scene mean to you guys?
I think a lot of us come from smaller towns, smaller areas where there's not as much of a music scene. I know that for me it was a really big influence into moving to Naarm.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, in Cairns, it's, you know, it's a little folk scene, and it's a beautiful folk scene, but I knew that I wanted to do music, and I knew that I had to go somewhere else to do it. And immediately Melbourne was the place. I moved here right before lockdowns, so I wasn't really enjoying the city that much. And then once they fully opened, lifted the lockdowns, I was really debating moving back home until I just went out. I just went out and I saw some free gigs in Melbourne, and I really found a community there. And I think that's what it's all about. It's about meeting people. It's about finding your community and building a safe space and a home for you. And everyone in the music scene is so wonderful, and it really lends to that. It's just a fantastic city.
I think also because the Melbourne music scene is so big, and there are so many different people that have moved to Melbourne or have grown up in Melbourne that want to pursue music and that are pursuing music, you can find anything. There's never been a time where I haven't been able to find a band or find music from Melbourne, and it's just, yeah, I think it's really awesome, the variety of different music that comes out of Melbourne.
Yeah, lots of people move to Melbourne just for the music scene.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like Australia's version of LA.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm only 30 minutes outside of Melbourne, so I'm from Werribee. But yeah, I've mostly done music in the Geelong scene, and I always did music at school in Werribee, and Melbourne is just so different. There's so much more going on here. There's so much you can do in Geelong and Werribee until you get to a point where there's just nothing left. Whereas in Melbourne, you're just constantly meeting and connecting with people in the music industry. Even in the last couple of months, we've just met so many awesome bands and people that we are like friends with, that I'm genuinely like so excited to go and see gigs. And there's just so many gigs these days that it's hard to choose what you want to go and see.
Yeah, that's maybe a downside. Like when we were trying to book in this our album release party, it was really tricky to actually get the date that we wanted. And yeah, kept having to push it back because just everyone's so organised and it's not cutthroat, but
Just
competitive, very competitive space.
Yeah, that's something we've learnt for the next album. Book it
Yeah.
early.
Yeah, be organised.
6 months in advance.
Yeah, for sure.
How important is community in your creative life?
The most important.
Yeah.
You know, we've said it before. On a small scale within this band, like, I love these guys. We're such good friends, and we've built a little community amongst ourselves. And I think that lends to us feeling creatively fulfilled and like we can express ourselves in any way that we that we'd like. And then that extends to our audience as well, and how supportive they are. And, you know, it's them that really keeps us going. You
We're
know,
also starting to build up like a little team. We got like our little like producer Declan.
yeah.
And our
Yeah, there's so many people.
public relations Gypsy.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
then
think we would have been
B, our
able.
artist. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we would not have been able to get this album done and achieve anything really that we have achieved so far in our career, were it not for the people around us and the community that we
100%.
have made.
How long have you guys been together for?
Around 2 years.
It's coming up to more 3-ish years. We formed at the end of 2023. Or roughly around the middle-ish, so
Yeah.
a bit more than two years.
Probably gigging well for a year and a half.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds
so-
about right.
So let's say that.
And also in regards to community, at the end of one of our songs, Fear and Posing, we really wanted to, in the recorded version, we really wanted to have gang vocals and we wanted to have a big crowd-like sound. And we did end up recruiting quite a few of our friends, and we had various people that we knew record vocals for that. And that was also a really fun experience, just getting our friends that were not super musically inclined or were not keen on or had never recorded music or vocals before, having them be able to be in a room with us and
Scream
just
vulnerably.
scream. That was really fun, and the song wouldn't sound like it does, and we wouldn't have been able to have it like that if we didn't have friends.
Sucks to not have any friends.
It does.
Where do you see Mellowing in the next few years, both musically and as a band?
More albums.
Changing, I guess.
Changing.
Yeah.
Changing and growing.
It's hard to put a pin on it because, well, I guess, yeah, changing and growing all the time. I feel like we don't want to restrict ourselves to where we could go. And that's part of the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Another thing is that, in the project that Mia and Mads and Rain were a part of before, like Rain played drums and Mia did piano, and in another band I play guitar, so we've definitely got that option of being able to switch and try and sonically change it up a bit. So the future holds many things that we're not sure of.
I think just, lots of evolution. I don't think we'll be the same as what we are in 3 years' time. We're going to look back at us now and think we're babies.
Yeah.
And like if you think about where you were 3 years ago from now.
Exactly, babies.
What does success actually look like to you guys?
I think fulfillment. I think feeling fulfilled in the music that we make and being able to dedicate ourselves to the music that we make and honestly be able to have a career off of it. Having a career off of music, I think that's what anyone who plays music wants. And it's a difficult road. It's a really difficult career to try and do, especially in Melbourne. But I think, just being able to do this and make music and create with people for the rest of my life. I don't know how the rest of the band feels, but
Not have to waste time on the side job to
absolutely.
support the fuel money to get to the gigs, get the gigs to pay for that stuff,
For sure.
Yeah.
And as John Mayer says, defining your own expectations is the difference between people who walk this earth happy and the people who walk this earth unfulfilled. Even if it is like, selling out a gig
Yeah.
with 100 people in it, or getting 1,000 streams, or selling 10 CDs. Like if you just set that cap, then you'll just be happy. Otherwise you'll just keep on wanting more and more and more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even if, like, John Mayer says he knows some people who sold 5 million copies, but they're still not happy because they want to get more.
Yeah, that's really important too because, it would be so wonderful to have a career out of it. But I I know a lot of us are really happy. Like, obviously, the more people that it reaches, the better it would be, because it would be lovely to know that it's reaching a larger audience. But, you know, you never forget your roots. It's so wonderful to be able to play in a bar to 50 people and know that they're all having the time of their lives. Like, that's really just
what you want, you know, just for people to resonate with
exactly. You. Yeah, no matter the number. And I think we all feel that.
Yeah. And I love asking this question to everyone. What advice would you give to your younger self?
Don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like at the start, I guess I was a bit more in my head about it. I'm just like, I need this to be perfect. But like, it's all about having fun and spending time with your best friends and enjoying the music that you're making. Yeah, I would definitely say be less serious about it.
I think that's advice I can take now.
I mean, yeah, sometimes you give advice and then you realize I should probably do that myself.
Yeah, like right now. Like, stop being so serious. It's all good.
I think for me is not letting the people around me influence how I feel about my music and the way that I have performed or the way that I write or the music that I write or anything like that. If I'm happy with it, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if other people around me don't like it. And, you know, as a band, if we make a song and we think it's awesome, having one person say that it's not their cup of tea, that's one person and it's not their cup of tea. Like, we enjoy it, and that's what I think that's what matters
the most. And if you don't have haters, that means you're not doing anything meaningful.
Exactly. People are going to hate.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, not everybody's going to like you.
Yep.
That's hard to digest.
It's hard to grasp, but there are people out there who aren't into this kind of music.
If you do get people who hate you, that means you're actually doing something.
You got to be outrageous.
I'd say my advice would be, and like specifically for music, play with as many people as you possibly can. And a lot of that, it's kind of picking off Rain's answer, which is not taking it too seriously, because anxiety gets in the way so easily, especially younger me, where I'd feel like I wasn't good enough, I didn't know the genre, I shouldn't give it a shot, I should stay at home and practice instead. And obviously practice is important. But I do think playing with people is just what sets you aside. It's really what helps you learn at such a rapid rate. You see everyone else's mindsets and how they approach music, and you can take little pieces of everybody. And it was only when I very recently started letting go of the anxiety and playing with whoever, and that's kind of how I met these guys as well. I just said, you know, yeah, okay, I'll throw my hat in the ring and I'll give it a go playing with them. And thank God I did. Yeah, it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding to find people that you didn't expect you'd find. And you can't do that unless you put yourself out there.
And if you're learning something by yourself compared to learning something with a group, in a year's time, the person who's learning off their friends is going to get like 10 times as far as a person learning by themselves.
Yes.
Because then you learn from each other's mistakes.
Exactly. And what's the point of music if not to play it with people?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
It was a pleasure to chat with you. And it was fun too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This last song is called Matieso. Matieso, is that how you say it?
Metathesio.
Okay. This last song that we're going to play is Metathesio, which sounds like a science thesis on something.
Funny word.
Yeah.
You're listening to The Spotlight on Syn, and this is Metathesio.